How's it going, everybody? It's Dean here once again from Our Gaming, bringing you another deck tech. So today we have mono green, and this deck works in two different paths. The first one is to get an early Llanowar Elves out into your 3-drop. So you've got the Yorvo, which when you hit things such as the Steel Leaf Champion, the Rhonas, any other creatures grows in time. The second option is to get an early Pelt Collector down, and then every single subsequent creature we cast on top of that, so for example the Trolls, the Ooze, and then going into our 3 and 4 drops, we get to buff the Pelt Collector and put those 1/1 counters on it, giving it trample in the late game. If we do come across creature decks, we've got the Primal Might in order to fight our way through. These can also deal with big threats, and in the mirror match is an excellent cast on one of our Llanowar Elves or our Pelt Collector to take down our opponent's Llanowar Elf or Pelt Collector and potentially put them one step behind us. In the later game, we've got the Great Henges. Now, the Great Henges are excellent both for card draw and gaining that little bit of incremental life advantage. It'll also give us bigger creatures compared to our opponents. And we also have 2 Planeswalkers. Both Viviens. The first one with the Arkbow Ranger. This allows us to fight. It also allows us those counters. Importantly, those counters also come with trample, so we can be getting in for damage, especially against creature decks that play a lot of smaller creatures. We also have the bigger Vivien, which either allows us to generate creatures if we are a little bit behind on the board stall, or it allows us a little bit of ramping that we can play creatures from the top of our library. Both extremely good cards. A notable mention is that we also have the Rhonas. Now, this is an indestructible creature which will allow us to chip damage in. Even if it's being blocked by 1/1 counters, we can still incrementally attack. We can also give trample to a bigger creature, which will allow that to go through. And we also have Coco. Now, Coco is an excellent card. Collected Company allows us to at instant speed get 2 of our creatures onto the battlefield, and a lot of the time, because we've got the synergies such as the Pelt Collector and also the Yorvo, it will mean that we can grow our creatures at instant speed. In the sideboard, we've got some key cards. The Cage is excellent both against the Citadel build, the Rakdos build, and also the Goblins. It stops their Muxus from bringing out lots of Goblins from the deck. Ram through for those Goblin decks again, and those creature builds where we want to be getting damage to their creatures, clearing up the boards for us to attack in. This is a heavy green aggro deck. And for the games where we feel that Oppo is going to be countering lots of our creatures, we want the Prowling Serpopard and also the Shifting Ceratops. The Shifting Ceratops especially is excellent against the Uro decks. It can block Uro, it can block flyers, so I'm thinking of the Bant Spirit deck, so make sure to check out that YouTube video which we have. And also it can just attack through Uro, which is a key consideration. There's also the Thrashing Brontodon, again for those Citadel matches and also the God Pharaoh's Gift matches. We can get rid of those artifacts. And if we need it, we have a Ferocious Hydra. Now, the Ferocious Hydra doesn't work very well with the Coco, but we do get an option of which creature to bring in. And the Ferocious Hydra, on top of that, allows us a fight spell. So it's just something else which we can use to get through that extra little bit of damage. But as always, before we jump into those games, make sure to give the video a quick like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and drop a comment in the comment section below. Let me know if you're playing this deck, how much success you've had, and your general opinions about it before you watch the games. Wish us luck. So game 1, we're against Nancy, and actually this is an awful hand. We need to mulligan this, and wow. I mean, we probably do keep this. We are on the draw. Put a Forest away, grab a Pelt Collector, and just hope that we have a 2-drop to kind of further our board, and we get a Coco. Now, it would be awesome if we got some ramp from the Pelt Collectors, but we don't. We don't have a Llanowar Elf here. Let's see what Oppo's 2-drop is. I mean, hopefully it's not going to be a 40 Erasure. Hopefully they're not playing Sultai, which I think they are. Wow. And I mean, let's go for the Pelt Collectors. Attack in, and yeah, we've got nothing to do in turn 3. We need to draw something. I mean, in all fairness, even a 2-drop here will allow us to go in for a minimum of 2 damage. So let's see where we get played. Oppo's got a plenty of counter magic up now. Another Coco, brilliant. Okay, we passed that Oppo. And I mean, what are they realistically looking at here is a Nissa, right? Vraska. Okay, Vraska's really interesting. We can kill their Vraska next turn.
Wherever I go. Oh, I was getting bored anyway.
Vraska was getting bored anyway. More mana because we needed more mana. Wow. I mean, it's got to be here, the troll and the champion, right? Both our creatures. And we go 3 there, and... I mean, there is a world, actually, where we... Yeah, I think we've got to kill Vraska, just in case they've got a board draft. A board draft would be annoying here. Let me just pop the audio down slightly. Okay, what do they have? They have a growth spiral. I mean, the growth spirals... Ooh, interesting. They still could be a Wrath. I mean, here I think we attack in. Keep up the Coco. Let's see what Oppo goes for here. We go for an eliminate. I think I'm going to go for a Troll and a Steel Leaf. Pumps those up. I mean, I don't think Oppo's got a board draft just because... Oh, and it gets another pump as well. Excellent. And then the turn. I mean, I think if Oppo had a board draft, they'd have used it used it on their turn, right? Thought sees. GG's. Okay. Now we're looking at the sideboard, and we are against a Sultai build. Now, in this case, Oppo might be sideboarding in lots of counter spells that they can use to stop us from attacking in, basically. Stop us from getting our key creatures down. And because of that, we're going to sideboard in the Shifting Ceratops. We're probably going to get rid of the Primal Mights now. And what else do we need? I mean, there is a Cerapod, which is nice. Maybe a couple of Cerapods in, and take away Steel Leaf Champions. Maybe 3 Steel Leaf Champions can go actually here. And do I think about the cages? I mean, Oppo's realistically only got the Euros, so maybe I can afford to not play the cages here. Do we like everything else? Thrashy Bee. I mean, I'd be tempted to just play it out like this. Interested in the comments, please do throughout the video, because I'm still learning this deck as well. Let me know what you would have done. If you would have sideboarded the cage in there just for the Euro, yeah, let me know. I mean, it could be that Oppo could be playing Coco in their build as well. I mean, if they are, fair play to them. Here is, I mean, you've got some excellent array of cards, but no mana again. So we're going to hit the mulligan, and this is a lot better, I think. We can get rid of a forest. We go for the Scavenging Ooze, try and get ourselves into the Shifting Ceratops, which will leave us enough mana to play the Great Henge. Okay, so we've got a 2-drop, a 3-drop. We need more mana. Oppo with a... I mean, this is likely to be a counter spell, right? I mean, if Oppo has got counter spells for things like the Ooze, brilliant, bring it on. Okay. So the Ooze comes down. Ooze is great for dealing with the Uros as well, but I think because we've got 3 of... Okay. Because we've got 3 of, I think it is important to... Ooh, this is actually quite nice. Let's play down the Rhonas. Yeah. So because we've got 4 Oozes, actually, we can play down... We can play one down early, and then we can try and push for even more in the kind of future. So here, because this is even mana and this is odd mana, we don't care too much about Oppo having a extinction event. We can still play the Great Henge afterwards. So here, I'm going to go for the Shifting Ceratops. This can't be countered, and Oppo takes 5 damage, unless they've got a way to try and... Okay, Heartless Act. Okay, Heartless Act is fine, I guess. Growth Spiral for Oppo. I still contest that the okay, Anissa. Oppo gets him for 3 damage here.
Will aid you. Behold nature's true power.
Not ideal. Viv doesn't do it for us, sadly. I mean, no. Let's go for the Great Henge. Hopefully Oppo doesn't have a counter spell. It will be disappointing if they did. And I guess it's just pass. Pass. Target each you control does damage to target. Oh, we could. We could actually hit the Nissa, which is interesting. Does Oppo have enough to get this out? They do. But they have enough mana. They do now. Drats. I mean, we can do the Vivien killing the Euro, which is fine. Okay, Oppo gets in there with the blue mana. You can... Okay. I was going to say, do they play that first? Yeah, well, I think they do here, right? No blocks. Can't block with the Rhonas. We can only block if we had another creature with power 4 or greater. So sadly, not the best time for us here. Burrow. Okay. And gain some life for our opponent. Now this looks like a game lost here, unless we can do something rather drastic. My turn. Gain a bit of life, and we pass. Rats. We choose a creature even from outside the game, reveal it, put it to your hand. I mean, we might even have to end up doing that, sadly. So Vivien comes down.
I have survived Nico Bolas, and I will survive you.
We're going to kill their burrow, stop them drawing.
Get him.
And yeah, I mean, the second Great Henge doesn't benefit us at all here, except for a little bit more life, but there is a possibility that Oppo's got some sort of enchant artifact removal. A very low one, of course, but there is a possibility nonetheless. So let's see what Oppo's going to go for here. I mean, you assume that they make another land attacking with the Vivien. The God Eternals. I mean, okay. Not too bad. Okay, so it looks like Oppo is doing their best here to race out. Okay, so there's the one we expected. One to the Vivien. And yep, we die next turn. I think we die next turn regardless, actually. I mean, what do we need to survive here? We need a creature followed by an activation from the Great Henge to get us maybe into a ramp through. Ooh, Oppo gets the Euro. I didn't realise it was so close. Ah, they get to mill, don't they, with the Enter the God Eternals, of course. And now it's looking very, very bad for us indeed. Oppo with a draw. Where did it all go wrong? I think it was when Oppo hit the Eliminate in the Heartless Act, right? GG's, Oppo. GG's. Okay, the flood there was real. It's sad to see Oppo with 7 mana and us not. Right, what do we want here? I mean, there is an argument for the cage, of course, but I just feel the lack of creatures there was the problem. And we shouldn't be having a problem with lack of creatures. If we do play the cage, it shuts down our Coco, which against Oppo's deck, I think we can deal with if we do hit the Coco. Okay. I actually. Okay. I'm gonna run this one back, chat. I think we made the right changes. It's just that we obviously just didn't come up against the right card draw, which is fine. So, play first, and this looks a little bit better. All right, we've got a 2-drop into a 3-drop. And we're on the play as well, which is nice. Oppo has to mulligan. You see, now if the Shifting Ceratops are the hit, it would have been an excellent card. But sadly it wasn't meant to be. Ooh, Oppo... Okay, Oppo kept 6. They go up to 7 with the draw, so it's fine. And... Okay. Got our 4th mana. Now we've got to try and get into Coco or the like. I mean, the Coco pumps Yorvo twice, right, if it hits. Thought Caesar's Oppo got? Interesting. I think Oppo's got either a Thought Caesar or some sort of cycle. I'm not sure what they could have, actually. Either way, I'm going to go for the Yorvo. And we attack in with the Barkhide Troll. So there is a world there where we play the Pelt Collector rather, and keep up a mana to stop the hit with Barkhide Troll. Okay. So what do we fancy here? I mean, I think we go in for an attack. I mean, this is 7 damage, right? Heartless Act. Remove up to 3 counters. The Coco seems awesome here. Ah, Llanowar Elves in the Barkhide Troll. But we still do 3 damage, or 6 damage rather. And then it's lethal next turn. We've got the haste with the Shifting Ceratops, remember? Can't be countered, so that could be quite good if Oppo has a board draft here. I mean, actually, a board draft doesn't work because we've got 2 Barkhide Trolls, and we've got an Elf and a Yorvo, which are both at odd mana. Okay. And I think this is GG's. I think this is GG's. Activate the ability. And we have haste. Scoop from Oppo. Yeah, first win under our belt, and that's exactly the style of play that we wanted. Hit them hard, hit them fast, and get that rank up. On to game 2. This is a very, very slow hand indeed. I mean, if it pays off, it's going to be fantastic, but we go first. I think we've got to keep here, right? Oppo with a mulligan. So we're going to go Forest into the Llanowar Elf. Hopefully get into a Scavenging Ooze. If not, we've got a Pelt Collector to fall back on. And a part of me here actually thinks, do we go Pelt Collector into the Llanowar Elf? And I think we do. We're maximising the amount of mana that we can possibly get out. Next turn, looking towards a Leafkin, a Steel Leaf Champion. Oppo with the Mind Stone. I mean... In fact, it's probably the Yorvo is the pick here, right? We put the Pelt Collector and we attack in. Next turn, we can look towards a Steel Leaf Champion. Oppo with a Wrath of God. Wow. Nice. What, turn 3? Turn 4 without a land? Okay. That's probably the best timed Wrath of God we've seen in a while. And now, can we eat our way back up with the ooze? Okay, Oppo getting rid of a couple of lands. Looks like they've got gas in their hand. Essence Scatter as well. Wow. Oppo's playing a very controlling game here. Taps that in. It's going to be a Teferi. No, it's a Shark Typhoon. And Coco. We are miles off Coco here. No lands at all, chat. No lands at all. 44% chance to draw a land, by the way. 44% chance to draw a land. Cast out. I mean, the cast out on the ooze. That's aggressive. That's aggressive. And there's a land. We can play a Steel Leaf Champion, which I kind of like. Hopefully Oppo runs out of gas, but they've got the Search for Scanter. Now, the Search for Scanter is an excellent card for them. It allows them to scry. It allows them to push through their deck a little bit more. Play the Teferi, and this is GG's, chat. We're not going to watch more of this. Yikes. Okay. So... here, we need to play out the Ceropods, the Shifty Teas, Primal Mights. I think the Primal Mights aren't keepers here. You know, in all honesty, Viv can be quite nice because of the flash. Maybe we get rid of this Vivien. And what are we concerned about the most here? I mean, the Steel Leaf Champions are nice, but potentially a little bit too pricey here. I think if we bring it down like this, this only fights creatures, right? Okay. B is actually quite good here. Play a couple of those, get rid of the Steel Leafs. Okay. Let's run out like this. Okay, so a very quick sideboard from Ed probably puts more Wraths in. Maybe a Settle the Wreckage even, so we might need to play around like that. Let's try and get as few creatures down as possible that is still effective, if that makes sense. We're going to keep this. We're going to go for a Elf. Next turn, I think we do go for the Thrashing Brontodon. Even better, we get to go for the Yorvo. Okay. And I think here I'm going to go for the attack with the Yorvo. Be a gust. Think of an eye. Let's go for a Coco here. I choose to keep this one. Oh yeah, because I got the activations on the other ones. Okay. Oppo's getting ready for Wrath of God. So we're going to keep the Shifty Ceratops as behind. And I think here we attack with all. We're going to eat the Yorvo. Or at least attempt to eat the Yorvo. Oppo could still have another blink. And we hit in. For 11. Great to see. And I think we end the turn. Okay, Oppo with a first for meaning there. Nice. We'll probably use the last of the 2 mana up on Oppo's end step just in case. Okay, so they got rid of a Shark Typhoon, which is really interesting. You assume this is a Wrath of God or a Settle. Oh, Aethergust, okay. We'll resolve. I'm going to decline, put it onto the bottom. So it's not a Settle. Now, another mana would mean we have a Shifting Ceratops. Which we would like. We would like a Shifting Ceratops just to come down and deal that some incremental damage. We weren't that lucky, though. We weren't that lucky. So I'm actually going to attack in here for. What do I attack in here for? Maybe just 3. Looks like it's going to hit. And I'm going to play 1 Shifting Ceratops down, which means that if Oppo doesn't have a board wrath, we have lethal next turn. Irrigated farmlands. They are digging for something. They are digging for something. We didn't. They're probably keeping up something like a sensor. First for meaning. Okay. Okay. Remember the Shifting Ceratops has protection from blue. Scoop from Oppo. Okay. Okay. Let's run this back out. Now, do we get a decent opening hand for once? Let's have a look. This is slow but fine, I guess. I mean, Oppo's on the play. The play down the Pelt Collector. Mindstone. Okay, so it looks like they're going to go for a board wrath soon. The Barkhide Troll is actually quite nice. It helps to pump the Pelt Collector. And we can attack in. Past the Oppo. Now, are they going to wrath the board here or not? Second Mindstone. Okay, interesting. So what I'm going to do here is actually play down the Rhonas, because the Rhonas is indestructible. Essence Scatter. Nice. Okay. Slightly annoying, but still Oppo's down to 13. Missed the land drop. Are hitting the Mindstones, though, of note. Wrath of God, okay. I don't know what the delay about that was, because it sent pretty fine. We're gonna go for a Yorvo. Oppo got another Wrath of God, have they got a cast out? Something like that, you know, just something to deal with it. Interesting. I'm gonna go for the Serpopard. And let's attack him. Keeping the Scavenging Ooze in hand. Out. Okay, I think I go for the Ooze now, actually. Because I think if Oppo had another Wrath of God, they'd probably have left it. I mean, it's only another 5 damage, right? Here I might be completely mistaken. But let's go in for some damage here. And we're going to tap all the mana. My graveyard. I'm going for 7. Let's put Oppo at lethal next turn. If it hits, of course. I mean, it might not hit. Ooh, maybe it's not going to hit. Dark. I mean, that was a weirdly timed shark, I guess, but I'm gonna eat the rest of their graveyard as well. Use my mana up. Again, I don't think they've got anything that can get all these things back, but it's nice, you know, just having the option down. Oh, they did it. They did it before blocks. I mean, blocking the Serpopard rather would have been useful for them. At the minute, we have lethal. Another cast out here on the Scavus. I mean, it feels like these are just trading off, right? Let's just pass. Yikes. Oppo draws a card with the Mind Stone. Interestingly, they can make a 1/1 every turn. I thought I was going to see a Wrath then, of interest. Okay, we need to pass. Come on, just 4 life. Where do I get 4 life from? Where do I get 4 life from? Oppo's now got a full grip. They get rid of Search for Scanter, which is interesting. Okay, Teferi. Teferi seems good. Hits the Serapod. Yeah.
Let's take it back a step.
Another land. I mean, a Rhonas there would actually be really good. In fact, a Rhonas might have even won us the game. In all honesty, what would we have? We got 6. I think the Rhonas would have won us the game there. A Shark Typhoon. Ooh. Okay, so this is going to be GG's, sadly. And all because we've completely flooded. It feels bad. It feels so bad. I mean... First for meaning... Yeah. I mean, we're going to give it one more turn. Just in case we get a Coco or something like that. But in all honesty... We're in a bad place. We're in a bad place. I mean, Oppo knows that as well, right? Oppo knows that we're not doing too well here. Yeah, I think this is G. This is G. Damn. Okay. A game against Samir Liam. Equally trying to push for Mythic today. And, I mean, we've got to keep this, right? Because we've got all of our cards can be played. So we have to keep this, which is one of the difficulties with playing a monocolor. It's actually something I've spoken to Rint about before in terms of when do we know when we should and should not be kind of mulliganing our cards. Gonna go for the Pelt Collector here. Oppo could have Sensor. Okay. If Oppo had Sensor there, that was a good shout. If not, then the Barkhide Troll, you know, seems slightly better. Okay, so 4 colours for Oppo. Fabled Passage. Are you going to go for the 5th? You're gonna chuck red in there as well? Maybe not. Garenbrig. Let's go for the Barkhide Troll. And we attack him. Okay, so Oppo goes down to 16. Here's the Growth Spiral. Black mana. Pass. Cycle with the trio. Wow. So much land. What do we go for here then? We go. Oppo even shocks this in. Yikes. Oppo shocking that in is quite it's quite scary in itself. Do we like the Rhonas here? I think I do. I think I do like the Rhonas here. It lands. Goes up to 6 damage. We've got lethal next turn if Oppo doesn't do anything. Shark. Rats. Okay. Feels bad, man. I think we can afford to keep the Primal Might in hand, maybe. Okay, it's a fairy, so we're against a very similar deck here. If Oppo down ticks, no, they're up ticking. Okay.
Alright, let's skip to the good part.
Oppo with the uptick there. Pass. Now the question is here. My turn. The question is here. Do we have lethal or not? Do we have lethal or not is the question. 1, 2. We can go for 6, 9. We could actually just... We could test the waters here, right? We go... Could test the water here. We go for... Plays for 0. And... No, not 0. 1 actually, isn't it? Is it 1? This fights this. Go for 1. Now Oppo's got something. It could be another cycle card. Mystical Dispute. Interesting. We have to let it resolve, and I don't think we can pay for it. I don't think we can pay for it. I think what we're going to do is we're going to give this trample. And we're going to attack in base. Or do we send this one towards the fairy? Now that's really interesting. We send this one towards the fairy because then the Oppo will have to leave us with 2 creatures on the battlefield if they do. Do they lose the fairy or do they leave me with 2 creatures? They leave me with 2 creatures and go down to 6. Now that's really interesting. Is Oppo going to hope that we don't have another creature? I mean, we could play a Great Henge rather. Okay, so they get rid of the Rhonas. And the Wrath of God. I mean, if we play this down, that makes it down into... Yeah, it's not enough mana, right? Not enough manas. We're going to go for a Llanowar Elf and a Steel Leaf Champion. And then we pass. We can play the Great Henge the turn after. That'll get us some card draw, but Teferi is going to go off. Quickly. Defeating this deck is going to be quite difficult for us. Oppo with some cycling. Remember, they get to untap at the end of turn. They've got a Castle Garenbrig as well now, which is a very, very powerful card. At the minute, we've got lethal. Oppo needs to offer up a Wrath here, right? Coco's nice. Coco is nice, yeah, right? I don't think Oppo can counter this. I mean, if Oppo's got a Settle the Wreckage, then fair play. Eliminate? Okay. Okay. Maybe I should have gone Coco. No, because I don't think that was the right play. I honestly don't. Honestly do not. 2 to the bottom. That's very, very telling. Growth Spiral. Okay. There's a pause, so they've definitely got a land. Noppo went straight for the untap, so they don't have anything at 5. Wait, can I not play the Great Henge? I can't, can I? What would Coco give me? What buffs our creatures at this? Nothing, right? Nothing buffs our creatures. A Scavenging Ooze, Primal Might. Okay, so I'm just going to attack in... I'm just going to attack in face. And we pass to our opponents. The only thing that Coco would let me do is play their Great Henge a little bit cheaper, but I don't think... No, we still don't have enough. It'd only be 2 mana, right? So we'd need to hit something huge, which we don't have. So Oppo's scrying with the Castle Garenbrig. Now, a Wrath of God doesn't really save them, right? One to the top, one to the bottom. Draw a card. But Teferi's left the Llanowar Elves alone at the minute. An Uro to gain some life. Interesting. I don't want to go for the Coco until the end of their turn because of the Wrath effects. I mean, they've got a couple of Wrath effects, so I'd rather not. And hopefully, you know, Collector Company will come down and we'll have enough for everything here. They're going to hit the Uro though, which is of an annoyance. If they're going for the Uro, I don't think they'll have a Wrath. Oppo's giving us the GGs. Okay, maybe they do have a Wrath. I mean, it seems fair that Oppo's giving us the GGs. Ah, yeah.
I'll phase
Gonna
through
hit
anything.
the
You
elf.
better watch your back from here on out.
Last two attacks. Go for the Coco before they can untap, and we're gonna get the Steel Leaf and the Rhonas out. Mystical Dispute, giving us the nice. I don't know if I like that, chat. I don't know if I like the just the nice off the Mystical Dispute there. I mean, we're going to go in for an attack here. Get the Ooze down. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked in with the Steel Leaf Champion.
Good riddance to
Forgets to exile.
me this time. Bravo.
The thing is, I wanted to get the Rhonas through. Getting the Rhonas through was important for us there. Oppo with life gain. They're going to go for the Uro, putting the Rhonas back into... and what have I got here? 1, 2, 3. 3 are not enough. Takes Oppo down to Wrath of God. Nice. I mean, that's a shame. Okay, now they're hitting the Uro from the graveyard, I guess. Rats. I think with the Stonehenge we might have been alright there. Yeah, GG's Oppo. I mean, I didn't like their use of emotes, but sometimes there is like a language barrier with emotes, right? Sometimes it's just easy to come across as a bit of an idiot. Right, so lots of counterings. Creature spells can't be countered. We didn't see any enchantment, so no real reason to bring in the Thrashy Brontodon. The cage does stop them. It also stops our Coco, which I think... I mean, we got Oppo down so far there. I think the Coco is going to be fine. The Trolls can go down. The Pelt Collector goes down 1. I like the flash there. Maybe not so much with the Vivien. What do we want to get rid of here? Steel Leaf Champion seems something that can go. We like the Yorvo because we can grow it. So let's keep this. Keep a Primal Might for getting us over an Uro and getting that incremental damage in. Because Oppo's playing Uro, it means that the ram through is not as good here because we'll be getting lots of trades. I mean, it's nice for the. It's nice in terms of getting the Rhonas to like hit the Uro because of the Death Touch, but it's very situational. Oppo. There we go. There we go. Play first. And I think this is definitely a keep. We're going to try and get into Coco as soon as possible. Llanowar Elf and pass. Rhonas the next turn. Rhonas the next turn to start avoiding board drafts, right? Vivien Monster Advocate. So this will let us cast spells on the top of your library. And look. Oh, we just cast them from the top of the library, so it's not like they have flash, right? I mean, do I go for a Coco here and maybe it gets timed out? I think I do. I think I do. Could be a gust. So, growth spiral, okay. Is this going to be a Wrath next turn? I mean, it's lethal, so Oppo needs to have something. Ah, come on. They get the Fabled Passage, they go for white mana, they hit Wrath of God. All very good things. Yada yada. Primal Might. Pass. Rats. I think we had to go for that. I mean, it was lethal. Oppo had just exactly the right cards. And that's going to happen sometimes. That's going to happen sometimes. Go 3-3. Then it fights up to one target creature you don't control. Up to one. So it can be 0, right? Or do I just try and go for the Vivien here? I think we try and go for the Vivien.
Every mutation displays nature's ingenuity.
Whenever you cast your next creature spell, search library for creature with lesser converted mana cost. Nice. Oh, there's no haste here, is there? No haste. Vigilance is good. This buffs this up, and we attack him. I think Oppo's got Settle. Oh, they've got a Shark. Okay. Shark's very annoying. But, okay. So, what do we go for here? Can we cast the Great Henge? I think we can, right? So, what's that? 9. Makes it 4. Seems good. Great Henge seems an awesome shout. Uro. Okay, an Uro feels good there. But let's go for a Great Henge. We can still cast the Rhonas if this gets through. Cast it on this. And we go for an attack. Ooh, okay. Oppo's down to 6. And we're going to make another beast. This time, give it vigilance as well.
I love making new friends.
Growth Spiral. Oppo can get the Uro next turn. We can fight it with the Primal Might. And hopefully that'll be enough. I mean, what are they... The good thing about the Vivien is, regardless of whether Oppo hits the Wrath of Gods, we can make a creature, we can buff the creature. Okay, here we go. And this is looking GG's. Nothing Oppo can do for 1 white mana except for cycle a cast out. It looks like they have got a land though. It comes in untapped. Another untapped land. And... beautiful. Scoop from Oppo. Okay. Vivien coming in clutch for us there. Anything that I regret or... I mean, we've got the Scavenging Ooze to deal with the Uro. No, I think that we just have to have faith in this build. I mean, the Collected Company... If we can cast it on Oppo's end step, we can go in with upwards of 10 damage just from the Collected Company next turn. Which is excellent. Okay. So, game 3. Can we do it? Can we do it? I think we have to keep, right? Llanowar Elf into the Serpopard. Serpopard. Oppo with a mulligan. but they are on the play. Biome comes down. Llanowar Elf and pass. We've got decent amount of mana if we need to rebuild with the Pelt Collector into the Scavenging Ooze. But we're definitely going to be hitting the Serpopard. Well, I say definitely going to be hitting the Serpopard. I think whilst Oppo's not got mana up, we're going to actually go for the Steel Leaf Champion. Serpopard next turn. And let's see what Oppo goes for. I mean, if they go for an Uro, we're definitely going to eat it with the Scavenging Ooze. So Oppo's going to maybe target the Steel Leaf Champion with a 1 in the black. Eliminate. What should we do here? What shall we do? I'm going to play the Pelt Collector. And I'm going to attack in with the Steel Leaf Champion. Interesting. I'm actually going to end the turn just in case of a board draft. Okay. Go for a Prowling Serpopard and pass the Oppo. I think we played that right. We could also have gone for a Pelt Collector there. Sorry, a Scavenging Ooze. Right, we're going to go down for the Scav Ooze first. Can't be countered, remember, but Oppo's got something. It could be a shark. And we're going to attack in with this. I mean, if Oppo's got a shark, they've got a shark, right? Okay, resolve. These trade. And a little bit disappointing. We're going to play down the second Ooze whilst Oppo's got no mana left and pass, leaving up 1 green in case Oppo plays an Uro, but it's likely we're going to have a Teferi now or a board draft. I mean, this would be a great board draft. If it's a board draft, I think it's going to be GG's. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, I mean, it feels like Oppo's got another shark here, right? It feels like this is a shark or a settle. Either way, I'm going to attack him. And we just eat this. Gives us lethal next turn. Oppo could hit settle. They don't hit settle. So I think we keep the Yorvo in hand. And we keep the Yorvo in hand. Oppo with a Chemist's Insight. Growth Spiral. They're trying to drag into something. I mean, they need a board draft here, right? Essentially. Land comes down and we pass the turn. We're going to keep up this mana to eat graveyards, etc. if needs be. Untapped mana for Oppo. And what is this going to be now? Is it going to be a Teferi? Is it going to be a board draft? Are they going to draw with the Chemist's Insight knowing they need to get into something else? They're looking at the Chemist's Insight. It's an option for them. But it would use up half of their mana. They'd have 2 left. They've played the land for turn. I mean, it's essentially using Chemist's Insight to draw into a board draft. If not, it's GG's. I think keeping the card back was the smart play there. Okay, Teferi. And what's Oppo going to do? They're going to uptick?
Trust me, you'll thank me later. Keep up
The
the
uptick there is
pace.
scary in terms of having to settle the wreckage. Very, very scary. 2 attacks. Resolve. Being choicey about their land. Go for a Serapod here. And I think this is right. So we're going to keep this Pelt Collector, but we are going to get rid of the rest of Oppo's cards. Ooh, actually, Chemist's Insight, because if Oppo needs to fire it off, they need to fire it off now, but it's GG's if they do. Dark Typhoon. Okay. So I think Oppo's got a Shark Typhoon. We're going to have to offer them the... the trade. We attack him. Eliminate. Interesting. Pelt Collector. Oh, I hit the eliminate by mistake there. I hope it doesn't cost us. I hope it doesn't cost us. I think I'm just going for 4. We're going to play this. And that's fine. End the turn. Now we've got lethal again. Oppo down ticks with 1. Probably the Scavenging Ooze, right? I wonder if Oppo actually even... I wonder if Oppo just sideboards out their Uros completely, knowing that we've got a Scavenging Ooze. I'm not entirely sure how that works. Another Teferi. Oppo's having some issues here. Like, are they down ticking? They are down ticking.
Let's take it back.
What do we need off the top? What do we need? Anything but that. Anything but that. And again, we're suffering the same fate.
Hold that thought.
Is this going to be the bane of us? Is this this 4-mana deck? Is it the killer for us? An Uro here. It almost feels like it's a perfectly timed Uro as well for them to draw. Coco feels good here, right? Actually, let's play down as much mana as we can, and we pass the Oppo. Draw a card.
Hurry.
I mean, if the Coco doesn't land, Shock Typhoon. Oppo's giving us the GGs. Feels bad. Pass to attacks. We're going to fire this off now. Ovin's Veto. A counter spell here and it's GG's. GG's Oppo. I mean, we don't come back from this, sadly. We don't come back from that. Oppo's got enough cards back in the graveyard to bring out their Uro. And it's a feels bad, man. It's a feels bad. Okay, so Fop to Gifts. Play first. Because we're playing first, I'm kind of okay keeping this. I mean, if we're against another deck like those ones before, we'll be mad. But Oppo looks like they're mulliganing down to 5 here. It'd only be good for us. Okay. Go back in. Mulligan this, because we've got no ramp at all. This is still a very, very slow hand, but I think we've got to, right? We've got to. Get rid of one of the Scav Oozers. And what is Oppo playing? Okay, Watery Grave. Looks like it could be Sultai. Unless they're playing like a weird Demir build. If they've got Sensor, we're going to keep up a Pelt Collector. Or play the Pelt Collector, keep up a mana to pay for the Sensor, that is. Very Vandal. Okay, so this is kind of an off the wall build here, I think. Furious Obsession. Draws a card, puts a counter on it. Okay. Shocks it in. Ooze. This could be problematic for us, chat. Could be problematic here. Filling Nightbonder. Okay, trade those off. That's fine. We grow the Scavenging Ooze next turn. Gain some life. Another Curious Obsession. Another full grip for our opponent. Fetid Pulls. Land comes down. I think we going for combat here. And I think we're eating. Drats. I think we have to gain that life. Damn. Damn. And this looks bad for us. So 5 damage. Draws 2 cards. Goes up to 6 next turn. We don't have anything, right? I think this is GG's. Too slow. Too slow. So what do we want here? We want flyers. Well, not flyers, but things that stop flyers. Be Curious Obsession. Ram through? Ram through could be something. The Thrashing Bronson just seems a little bit clunky there, is my only issue there. I do like the Hydra for maybe a later game. Scavenging Ooze seems a little bit rickety, in all honesty. The Steel Leaf Champion seems good. Maybe get rid of a Yorvo. Maybe get rid of a Vivien. This Vivien doesn't seem as good here. And then maybe just one Pelt Collector. Okay. Play first. This feels better, right? So an Elf into a Steel Leaf Champion, into a Ceratops a turn after. All seems very, very good, very strong. I don't like the one blue mana, but that's fine. What do we actually want to get rid of here? The Rhonas? I think we play the Steel Leaf Champion here. This is a cycle. Oh, a Spectral Sailor, okay. Yeah. So what I was saying was, I think we play this because if something gets countered the turn after, so if we play this and then play this the turn after, if this was to get countered, this still can't attack him, and we've wasted all of our mana. Pelt Collector. Right, let's attack him with the Steel Leaf. I don't know why Oppo didn't attack him there. Weird. The Eliminate. Interesting. In which case then, let's go for a Pelt Collector. And then let's go for our Rhonas on the top. Bump in the Pelt Collector. Shifting Ceratops next turn, coming in with haste. Seems good. This figure on the Pelt Collector. Okay, Oppo's gone very, very defensive here. I mean, it's paying off for them. It is paying off. Alright, let's go for the Shifting Ceratops. Section from blue, remember. Could have an Aether Gust. Aether Gust works. I mean, that's fine. We're going to activate it, give it haste. And we're going to attack him. And now Oppo's in a little bit of trouble because they do need to deal with this. What have you got, Oppo? What have you got that can deal with the Shifting Ceratops? You dash at Octopus, okay. They draw, they keep up 1 mana. Okay, that tapped. I mean, the question is here, do I just fight this? Do I fight it? And I think the answer is yes. Let's go for this for free. A scoop from Oppo. GG's. So the Hydra was going to fight the Flying Octopus. And it would kind of shore up the board for E just to attack in and getting lethal the turn after. Okay, so we're against Tibbin Boar. And what do we have here? Very, very slow start. Barkhide Troll with nothing much else. I mean, but we've got 40% chance to draw a land each turn. So we've got two chances to draw into a third mana, which we've got lots of. I think we keep this, right? I think we keep this. Goblins. Now, on retrospect, not the best keep. But let's see how far we can take it. We're going to have to rely on the sideboard. The collected company gets sideboarded out against goblins because we have to sideboard in the cages. Oh, Phyrexian Tower's nice there. How does that work? Oh, they just tap that for normal mana, right? Okay, cool. Completely confused me. We attack in here with this. And I play a second troll. Mana there would have been excellent. We would have been able to get a Rhonas, which would allow us some blockers against some of their bigger things. Goblin Matron. Now they're going to use this to go and get their Muxus. Or maybe another Skater Prospector, we don't know. It depends what they've got in their hand. 5 cards, unknown. Now this is where sometimes I like the Golter over the Great Henge, in that at the minute this only reduces the cost by 3, but with the Golter it would obviously have been a lot more. Let's attack him with the Barkhide Trolls here. 6 damage, and I'm going to cast a 3rd one. Wow. Okay, Franco. You're not attacking him with that. You're not attacking him with that. Ooze, eat, gain some life? Maybe. Let's attack him first. See what Oppo does. I mean, they could just trade off it. What? The Titans go through? Damn. Damn. In which case, then it seems like it might be a good time for Steel Leaf Champion, purely because Steel Leaf Champion can attack through if they tap the Krenko. That makes sense. So if Oppo taps their Krenko here, we at the minute, like from what we can see in their hand, they can't block the Steel Leaf Champion. The fact that they were just constantly taking the damage from the Barkhide Trolls is very scary for me. Goblin Chieftain. What? How can I don't understand how I can defeat this. 7, 10 is 20 damage. Yeah, GG's. What can I do that defeats that? Such an awesome card, the Goblin Chieftain. Right, so we need to get the cages in. We get the Coco out. And the Ramthroughs come in. What else do we do? The Fight Spell? Well, the Fight Spell could be good. Fight Spell could be good. The Pelt Collector we drop down 1 of. I think the Ooze is fine. It's a little bit scrappy. The Yorvo is a bit pointless here, right? What do we have? We have a Fight Spell there. We'll get that other Collector Company out. Thrashing Brontodon in. Thrashing Brontodon being that it's a 3-4, so Oppo's got lots of 3-3s, so I can block it. And I think we have to keep like this and then just fingers crossed that we can get a win. Okay, so game 2, and we know that we need something a lot faster this time, and this looks to be it. Llanowar Elves into a Scavenging Ooze, then we've got Primal Mights to keep them back. I do like that. If this is a Skater Prospector, we might just kill it actually. Magma Spray on the Llanowar Elf. Aggressive. Very aggressive. Scavenging Ooze and pass. A second Magma Spray, perhaps? I mean, it feels like it. Either that or they're slow playing a land. I mean, it doesn't really matter because I'm tapped out, so Oppo's got free reign in terms of whatever they want to do, right? I mean, it's not like I can tap to gain any life. No mana, no creature in the graveyard. Land comes down, and they play a Snoop. Okay. So I think here what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this for 2. Kill the Snoop, get 4 points of damage in. And attack. Beautiful. Probably should have just done the 2 there so I could have eaten the Snoop in the graveyard. That's one option. Forgotten Caves. I mean, we can see a mana there. And the Skater Prospector. So this feels good actually. Let's go in with the Ooze. Blocks. Play down the cage. And play down the Ooze. So the cage stops us from the Snoop. It also stops us from the Muxus. We've got a Primal Might with 2 creatures on the battlefield rather. Castle Garenbrig. I mean, they can pump this for 1 should they want to. So maybe I've actually got to go for this, fighting this. A scoop. Ooh, okay. Must have been a really bad hand for our opponent because our hand was quite slow. I don't think it demanded a scoop. There's also kind of scope here for playing the Ceratops because it's got trample, but I think it's quite slow against this build. Like oftentimes by turn 4 we can already be dead. Right, we're relying on getting the cage very early. A 1 drop into a 2 drop into a 3 drop. I mean, we'd like a little bit of a fight spell. This is a Scout Prospector. No, it's not. Interesting. Play this down and maybe they hit me with a Magma Spray. I mean, the Magma Spray gets out of their hand, and part of me thinks that I'd rather have that than them exiling the Rhonas, right? Well, no, or can it exile the Rhonas? No. Having said that, that might have been a bit of an idiotic statement. Okay, the land on the top feels good. Lyca with a Forgotten. Go Prospector. Nothing. And what I'm going to do here is going for the attack. Try and deal a little bit of damage. I'm going to play a Rhonas down and pass. This could be a Muxus next turn. Oh, look at it. It's just there. Just there. We need a cage. We need a cage ASAP. Hopefully they don't have anything that cycles. Come on. Hey. Oh, they can cast them from the top, can't they? Of course. Ooh. Okay. Not the worst. Not the worst we've ever seen, actually. 5 there. Primal Might seems good almost, right? Primal Might seems good. We can get a 5 in here. Do we just hit the Primal Might for 0? Fighting this on this. Beautiful. And do we here hit in for 8? I think we do. I think we do hit in for 8. Oppo's down to 4 mana. They've used the Muxus card. And we very much have lethal next turn. If Oppo can't do anything about it, we can pump with the Rhonas. We can pump pre-combat if needs be. Sometimes chat, you need a little bit of luck. And that's the luck that nearly paid off there. Okay. Goblin Chain Whirler is a decent card. We're trying to raft their board here, right? We're trying to raft their board. Do I just attack him with Rhonas and the Steel Leaf? I mean, this has got trample, so... I kind of like the attack here. Opposed counter my mana. Only 5. Only 5. But I'm going to have a 7 next turn, actually. So wondering what I could have. I could have Coco. There's the Kenra, actually, that you can get from the Coco that pumps things for +2/+2. Go through. Oppo's down to 1 there. And we'll play the Elves. And we will pass. I mean, the Elf could, depending on what Oppo has, the Elf could actually prove very, very useful. Is this GG's? It is! We do beat Goblins. Beautiful. So, in our final game, what are we against? Very slow. Oppo's going first, so we could draw into something. I mean, the sheer amount of 2 and 3 drops we've got is ridiculous. I think there's a world where we keep this, you know. I mean, if we do get into the Collected Company, could be the mirror match. And it is the mirror match. Pelt Collector there for our opponent. Okay, so we've got a 2 drop into a 3 drop into a 4 drop. But is it going to be fast enough to keep up? Oppo with the Crawl Harpooner. That's a build that we don't play. Oppo gets him for 2. Thinking. Nice. And let's go for the Barkhide Troll. We don't mind trading off the Barkhide Troll with something. I mean, if Oppo has Primal Might, then that's problematic for us. But Celavi. I think they do have... They either have a creature or they have Primal Might. Either way, they're wondering, well, if they have a creature, I mean, what they're going to do with it. I mean, I would block with the Barkhide Troll. Yorvo, nice. We're definitely going to block the Pelt Collector. And we're going to play out my own Yorvo here. Now, next turn, we're going to go for a Pelt Collector. Oh, no, we're not. We're just going to go Collector Company. I was going to say, we could go Pelt Collector into Steel Leaf Champion. It all depends on what oppo plays here. I mean, they could have a couple, rather. Gem Razor. A Gem Razor is very problematic. It's an 8-8. And a Primal Might. Wow. Opponent's in for 11 damage here. And I think that's what you call GG's. GG. I mean, we had to fire that off just on the off chance. Now, are they just playing the Gem Razors or are they playing the Stonecore Serpents? I don't think they'd be playing the Stonecore Serpents, in all honesty. I think the Ramthroughs definitely come in here. Maybe a Hydra, but other than that, Vivien helps us get back on our board state. Maybe get rid of a Pelt Collector. Maybe get rid of Steel Leaf. A couple of Steel Leaf. And an Ooze. Yikes. Okay, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Play first. And we know the speed of our opponent. We can't keep this. We have to mulligan. This is actually... You know what? It's equally as bad in some cases. I know we go straight into the 2-drop into a 3, but we're going to have to get rid of a Collector Company here. And just hope that we draw it into mana. Keep 6. Oops. Get rid of a Coco. Land and say go. Oppo could be going into a Pelt Collector, could be going into a Llanowar Elves. It's all sad things for us. Pelt Collector it is. And okay, so we do have our 3rd mana, which is fine. Hopefully a 4th, so we can play the Collector Company out. Let's see Horn Beetle. Interesting build. Interesting build. Champion. And we pass to our opponent. Next time we can play the Great Henge. Great Henge into Collector Company feels awesome. But let's see if that actually comes to fruition. Oppo could take the Steel Leaf Champion now with a Primal Might. And it would be a feel-bad moment. Rhonas, a Horn Beetle pumps. Wow. Could go for a Rhonas of our own, but I think getting the Great Henge down at this point is going to be the key factor here. And we pass. I do like this build from our opponent. Thing is, though, if we were to play a Rhonas, Vivien.
I am Scala's vengeance, and I'm coming for you next.
Fights those off. Feels bad, man.
With my aim and their claws, you're done.
Has to attacks. I mean, you're probably just attacking with all here, right? Realistically. No blocks. And yeah. Wow. This game sometimes. This game. Yorvo and the Pelt Collector. All these things trigger. Not a Yorvo. Rhonas. I mean, this feels good. Let's try and attack him with the Barkhide Troll. Are they going to trade with the Pelt Collector? Looks like they are going to. I mean, that's actually really good for them. They can start to distribute the counters. But the turn after, we will be having the Primal Might to try and kill the Horn Beetle. That was actually a very good Coco. Got 2 very good creatures down, pumped a lot of our creatures, gained some life, drew a couple of cards as well. We could even play another Great Henge. Yorvo, keep this Yorvo, draw a card. That's also a good shout. Grows things. This would go once, right? Oppo, 5 mana, so they should have enough mana. They could even pump with the Rhonas. I mean, if they did pump with the Rhonas and attack, we'd just trade off with our Rhonas. Their Horn Beetle is dying next turn, hopefully. What's our options here? Oppo's going to distribute 2 counters. Give it trample. Oh, both on the Rhonas. Interesting. Harpooner doesn't do anything, thank goodness. Now, are they going to attack him? Are they going to attack him? The Primal Might is going to serve a very good purpose next turn. Okay. We're going to trade. Hope he gets 1 damage through. What? Why did... Oh, really? Oh, because it's death touch damage, isn't it? That's something I need to remember. That's something I actually really need to remember. So we're going to go for Primal Might for 0 on this fighting. Oh, do we go 0 or can we actually win? Can we actually win? Is Oppo going for an instant speed? Probably not, actually, right? If I hit the ram through with this, then I can do Primal Might for... What have we got here? We've got 17 damage. I mean, I think I've got to go for the win here, right? Got to go for the win. Do 5 or 4, isn't it? Primal Might for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This fighting this. Deal some damage through. Nice. And do we get the win here? I mean, I think we've got the win. Let's try for it. Oppo's not got Coco. There we go. There's a scoop. I think that was a really bad attack by our opponent there. I mean, ultimately it wouldn't have made a difference, but I think it still was a bad attack. So let's carry on with this. Their Vivien was absolute masterclass there, but the winner for that was the Stonehenge. The Stonehenge is an absolute powerhouse. Now, if we can beat the mirror match, that's going to be quite good for our kind of confidence. So fingers crossed. Okay, so game 3. Oppo's on the play, and in these aggressive green decks, being on the play is a definitely wanted and sometimes needed. I think we've got to keep, right? I think we've got to keep Llanowar Elf. Lovestruck Beast. Okay, interesting. I haven't actually seen Lovestruck Beast in a lot of decks. Let's see what they play on turn 2. I've not seen Llanowar Elves from them actually. We've seen lots of Pelt Collectors. Maybe they don't care too much about the ramp as much as we do, at least. Okay, this looks like a ram through. Or Primal Might. Okay. Annoying, but understandable. It does put us behind a turn. Actually, does it put us behind 2 turns? Do I want to go for the Ooze or do I want to go for the Pelt Collector? The Ooze stops an attacking. The Pelt Collector can just grow. We can keep the Ooze for a little bit of a surprise. I kind of like that. Let's go for that. Oppo. Haship Oasis. We need to remember that they've got that, actually. I mean, I'll feel a little bit better if they do play down the Lovestruck Beast, I must admit, but... What are they going for here? Horn Beetle. Why have they kept the 1 green? What does 1 green do? Light spell? They'd fire it off now. They'd fight the Horn Beetle and the Pelt Collector, right? I think they've got a Primal Might. It's... I understand it. It's a little bit frivolous, I must admit. A little bit frivolous. Let's play down the Steel Leaf. And then we've got options with the Ram Through. We've got the Scavenging Ooze. We could even go for a Vivien or a Coco. I think this is where they just jam the Lovestruck Beast. The Cage. Okay, so they're protecting from Coco. Get a buff here. Doesn't do anything. Another Coco. Yikes. Okay, so I think I've got to go for the Ram Through. This, fighting this. And do I just sit back, or maybe I sit back? Maybe I kind of bide my time a little bit. We can grow with the Vivien. We can actually, if Oppo doesn't have anything that's bigger. Okay, yeah, they obviously do. Okay, in this instance, I'm going to fight these two off. Or do I actually just fight this off? Let me just fight this for now, right? Yikes. Mana. Coco would have been nice, but let's go for the Scav-Ooze. And we pass. Vivien can next turn start to... Kidding me, right? You're kidding me. What do you actually do next turn? No. I mean, I can actually make this bigger and fight this next turn, right? No, I can't. I've just got to take 9. Go down to 5. Now, 5 doesn't feel good, actually. We get a chump blocker, make this bigger. I guess that's something we can do. Yeah, I think we've got to, actually. A chump blocker. The fact that we've had our Cocos taken off us is a bit of a pain. Now, we do know that Mono Green plays Age, so we should technically be thinking ahead a little bit, you know, like, oh, should we, you know... Okay, what's Oppo going to do here? Vivien. Damn it.
I love everything from deer to dinosaurs.
Deer to dinosaurs, Vivien loves. Okay, seems good. Gives a trample. GG's.
We're fit enough to survive.
It's the counter, attacks him with all. Well, actually, I thought attacking with all was important there. My graveyard. Eat this. Oh, attacking it all with all was important. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Because then I can just kind of double block here. And go down to 2. Unless I've missed something. Primal Might. Is that off there? I think it's the Primal Might for... this is GG's. Drats. GG's because of this. I can't do anything about it. I can distribute the counters, but then they can just get bigger counters than me. So yeah. 1, 2, 3. GG's. Oppo buffs this with the Vivien, and yeah, or they could even go for the Oasis. Yikes. So all in all, mixed feelings about this deck. I think on the premise of things, it does really, really well. But there are some times when it can get stuck, and that's when we're either short of mana, or especially when Oppo is hitting our mana dorks and not letting us play into the creatures that we really want. I was very impressed by the additions of the 2 Viviens. The Great Henges did absolute God's work there. I think even though I like the main deck, the sideboard could do with a little bit of tweaking. Perhaps adding a Gem Raiser. Although if we are playing Coco, the Gem Raisers just come across really poorly. I think in the last game, the mono green mirror match, I could well have done with sideboarding in the Thrashing Brontodons and maybe taking out a couple of the Collected Company. I think thinking ahead, trying to realize what our opponents are going to sideboard is the next step of really advancing this deck. There's also the Lovestruck Beast, which our opponents played. I'm not a massive fan of that because of the limitation. But I did like the Nessian Hornbeetle, and that might be something that we bring in. Maybe a 2 of instead of the Barkhide Trolls, or maybe even move a couple of the Oozes to the sideboard, play a 2 of in the main deck, and maybe get rid of the Serpopards, because I think the Serpopards didn't really do as much as I wanted them to, especially if we've got 4 Shifting Ceratops, which can come down, uncounterable. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to give it a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check me out on twitch.tv. Finally, please drop a comment down below to let me know you've got to the end of the video, and let me know any feedback that you'd like to share and what you thought of the deck. And until next time, I've been Dean, and I'll catch you later.